Manchester City then through to the fifth round, beating Arsenal by that single goal scored by Nathan Ake. Was that a genuine shot, do you think, from Nathan Ake, or was that meant to be a cross?
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
All right.
I think he tries to place it in the bottom corner. It doesn't have the conviction of a great strike, but he placed it right in the corner.
Well, it's a lovely goal then, if that, because it's that lovely little curl that he gets on it.
Yeah, just
lovely.
bends it in, and obviously Turner in goal couldn't quite get there.
Yeah.
But on Nathan Ake, I felt he handled Saka better than anyone I've seen all season for Arsenal. Saka had a really tricky night, and look, he's been unbelievable this year for Arsenal. But I thought Nathan Ake really it started. Arsenal were on the front foot in the first half of the game and really could have got the lead.
Well, you're right. I mean, Pep Guardiola spoke about the fact that he felt Ake was terrific against Bukayo Saka, who's been obviously having an incredible season, as have Arsenal in general. But he felt he was absolutely brilliant against him with the duels and everything. I'm just reading the quotes. He said he was really good in the duels in the box, defending the far post, set pieces is an extra bonus. He's saying. He's basically just been showing so much love for Nathan Ake after that goal and that victory. He says he's an exceptional guy. There was a period where he didn't play and he never complained once. And as a manager, you want players like Nathan. He deserves all the good things in life, he says. I think that's quite sweet.
He did play well, and he is spot on. A really good job. And Arsenal, was certainly very dangerous. But it was a game. How often do you get Man City where... Certainly this season, because Haaland wasn't there before. But when Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland are only okay, because that's rare. Normally, that's absolutely top performances now. And they pair of them last night. De Bruyne has not really got going. He still produces brilliant moments, so I'm being really unfair on him because he's such a good player. But since the World Cup, he's not quite got going this year like he has in previous seasons for City.
Was that a hangover, do you think, from the World Cup? Because Belgium was obviously... Well, it was a disastrous, really, campaign for them when you consider the talk of the golden generation, and maybe that was their last opportunity to win anything. It really didn't go to plan because they were knocked out very early on in the competition.
Well, I had my concerns when he spoke in the summer about playing for Belgium in the Nations League, when he didn't quite see, or didn't feel that he wanted to go and play games. And I think it's been a long time coming with Belgium. And then, even the sideshow now. We went to games and we saw Belgium. Belgium hardly had. If you said the least supported club in Qatar, I would have said Belgium. They hardly had any fans there. The fans didn't buy into it. It felt the players certainly didn't buy into it. It looked like they were, they were brushed aside quite easily. And obviously, maybe he got a bit disillusioned with. It was really weird because there was one player that got booed. I remember being at the games, and the only player I knew that got booed was Eden Hazard. He came on, got booed by his own fans, and wasn't many of them. But it was really noticeable the atmosphere with Belgium, and maybe he's felt that as well. That bit of a downside to it.
Yeah, I mean it's possible, isn't it, that you can have a hangover from something or from a competition where you've hoped and believed that maybe this was your best opportunity. Didn't work out for Belgium. Didn't work out for Roberto Martinez either in the end. But back to this game last night, Pep Guardiola was asked, obviously, what this result means for the title race, because these are the top two chasing each other when it comes to the Premier League title race. And Pep Guardiola was saying, well, look, this result will have no bearing on the title race. Do you agree? Because obviously a lot of us looking ahead to this game were saying, well, it's the first time they faced each other this season because the previous game that they were meant to play got postponed. So do you think it has any bearing or not at all?
No, I agree. I don't think it'll matter one iota.
So it's not a psychological boost
for
City?
No, not really. I mean, everyone will talk about momentum and everything. I think Arsenal know exactly what they're about. Excuse me. And I think they certainly showed in the first half that they're prepared to take it to City, play quite high risk. And I think when they play them at the Etihad, because the first game is the Emirates on the 15th of Feb. So that's looming quite close. But I don't think it will. I think that these are two top teams. And if you get either of them on their best day, you get beat, and there was very little to choose in this match between the two sides. So for me, no. And Arsenal made more changes, but it was a weird game in many ways because City was certainly in the first half just couldn't get going at all. Rodri was really poor, and I like him. He's another midfielder that holds, defensively, keeps everything solid in midfield. but he really didn't get going. Misplaced passes a lot in the first half. So City have had these type of performances every now and again this season.
Yeah, if you look at the stats, it was quite a close fought match, that's for sure. And that's proved by the fact it was only a single goal that won it in the end as well. But you, like I say, you won't look at this as a psychological advantage that City might feel they have then, knowing they've beaten Arsenal. Is that also because, as you mentioned, Arsenal made, I think, 5 or 6 changes. So there wasn't even their strongest team, if you like. So therefore you have to discount the fact that it's a psychological advantage because it's not the same team that they'll face in a couple of weeks' time.
I think they'll take a lot out of it. They match City at the Etihad with number of changes. I think Arteta will...
So there's a lot of good for Arteta to take from it.
Well, yeah, and I think he spoke afterwards and there was a lot of good things, but, they paid the price. They weren't as clinical as he probably would like them to be, and I think it'd be still... The energy was still there. The type of performance, especially in the first half, of getting on the ball, take it to the game to City. I saw all the things that have made Arsenal really successful this year in the game, and they've got 5 or 6 players to come back into the team.
Couple of injury issue though for both sides as a result of that game. John Stones had to go off with what could be a hamstring injury. We wait to see what will happen with him, how long he could be out for. And also Thomas Partey had to leave the game as well just after half-time or as a half-time substitute. It looks as though he had a rib injury, and maybe that will accelerate a possible move for Moises Caicedo, a player we'll no doubt talk about a little bit later on. But a big blow for both teams, potentially, with 2 important players picking up injuries as a result of that game. But it is Manchester City then who go through, the first team, into the 5th round of the FA Cup.